What's happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. Now you guys could probably already tell it is going down. Just by that title alone, guys, you're definitely gonna want to see this one. So we got that ABC's The View host Sunny Hostin causing more commotion on the show as she is going after Alyssa Farah Griffin in this newest segment. Absolutely crossed the line. I'm excited to get into it, guys. We're gonna hop straight into it. Just make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Before we even get into it, you guys hit that like button, also hit that subscribe button for your boy. And without further ado, let's hop straight into it, folks. Check this one out.
Well, I'm a legal nerd. I read it. It's almost 150 pages. I think what was striking to me, Whoopi, is that, you know, most of us, or we all should have watched the January 6th committee hearings. And there were so many bombshells. I mean, people were testifying, you've testified in front of the committee. They had been conducting their own investigation almost in tandem, and they found more things. And so they not only found different things, they found the same things. And so the investigation supported each other. And that was very unusual to me, that there was that much evidence. What was also very unusual to me is something that I think we often forget. He tried so many ways to subvert the election. You know, he, of course, tried to pressure Mike Pence, and then his followers tried to kill him. He also...
And see, that right there, that they push that narrative. They always try. You heard her try to clean it up real quick because she's about to get another legal note. Sunny Host and these ladies on The View, they don't care about the truth. They run with their narrative saying there was more than enough evidence to take down this guy, Donald Trump. She's not seeing why the crooked, illegitimate special counsel prosecutor, Jack Smith, couldn't go after and take down Donald Trump with this case. Why he ended up dropping the entire thing. It's because it was political, guys. The whole thing was a charade case in order to get between Donald Trump and that seat of the White House, and he epically failed. I mean, it's so apparent.
And then his followers tried to kill him. He also called Georgia's, threatened to kill him. He also, thank you. He also called Georgia's, Georgia's state attorney, Secretary of State, and said, I need 11,000, like the exact margin. I need 11,780 votes. Like, what much more clear evidence would you need of someone trying to effectively subvert an election? And the final thing I'll say is,
she wants to talk about how much more evidence we need. Let's talk about the case that her husband has pending on him right now, the racketeering RICO case that's been brought for his insurance frauding. I mean, we should speak about that. If anything, let's speak about that. They keep talking about Donald Trump this, Donald Trump that. This guy, Donald Trump, has done nothing but, aim to serve the American folks, try to protect us from the powers that be, those, shadowy figures that are coming after the folks. Donald Trump has done nothing but be a hero for the citizens. Whereas we got Sunny Host and her fraudster husband trying to get over on the people with insurance fraud scams and schemes. I mean, let's speak on what really is truly going to matter going forward. I'm surprised that they haven't spoken of that yet on this show. Remember one thing, but they're talking about Donald Trump every day. It's kind of crazy.
Trying to effectively subvert an election. And the final thing I'll say is, in his speech that he gave, in all his discussions at the Capitol before the attack, he mentioned the word fight 10 times. 10 times. And so to say that he isn't directly responsible for what happened January 6th is a stretch.
But nothing is going to happen to him.
I still can't get on board what Miss Sunny Hostin is trying to push out. She's so focused on Donald Trump that day and saying that it was solely his fault for what happened there. We had tons of bad actors, folks like Pelosi, who simply wouldn't send extra reinforcements to protect where we knew boundaries that needed to be protected. It just didn't make sense. It was almost like they wanted to allow this to happen and then place all the blame in the lap of Donald Trump. Got folks like Sunny Host and just so hung up on it. Let it go.
January 6th is a stretch.
But nothing is going to happen to him. That's the only thing.
Well,
no. It feels like nothing is going to happen to the guy. So let's just say adios to democracy and let us say adios to the idea that no one is above the law. Apparently he is.
Yeah.
And that's what they voted for in this.
And so is Hunter Biden and Joe Biden, the big guy. Let's talk about who's truly above the law. I mean, the crimes that they've got away with, we barely spoke on. They barely touched on that point, you know? But when it comes to Donald Trump, cases that he doesn't even get, you know, it doesn't go all the way to trial. It doesn't make it past trial. He doesn't get sentenced in. They want to keep pointing the finger saying that Donald Trump needs to be held accountable for this. Something that Jack Smith even knows that it was political, solely political.
That no one is above the law. Apparently he is.
Yeah.
And that's what they voted for in this country.
Well, there was there was kind of a debate among legal experts.
Can I just one more thing? I want to give props to Vice President Pence. I don't know if people realize what a heroic thing he did.
Yeah.
And his wife, who snubbed Trump at
Carter's funeral.
At Carter's funeral. The two of them are standing tall, in my opinion. And I like that about them. I have to give it to them.
Yeah.
There was a bit of a debate among legal experts if a case of this size and magnitude could even be tried and concluded in the span of 3.5 years. And I'm not an expert. I didn't know if it would be the case, but
it could have been done.
At this point, we know 250 plus witnesses were interviewed. 55 people testified to the grand jury. There were thousands and thousands of documents they went through. And at the end of the day, 18 million people tuned into the January 6th committee hearings. We know, I can't even speak for how many people saw the footage of January 6th, yet voters made up their minds. 75 million people still chose to vote for Donald Trump, which makes me...
Come on now, because you guys can fearmonger all you want, try to gaslight folks to say this guy is such a threat to our democracy. He's going to end it on day one, become a dictator, but... America, we've already spoke. We said 70 million folks in our nation have already spoke. They said they don't want that anymore. They don't want folks to be telling them what they should be thinking, how they should be feeling. They want to be able to gather in all the data, all the information, come to their own conclusion. And frankly, we're sick and tired of ladies like those on the set of ABC's The View trying to come out and tell us what to think, what to do, and what to believe. We're done with it.
Yet voters made up their minds. 75 million people still chose to vote for Donald Trump, which makes me think they decided he was better for the country despite these things. I am not convinced that most Americans were comfortable with the events of January 6th, even who went on to support Donald Trump. And I think what we may miss about the election is that a lot of people don't like Trump. They thought he was a better leader, and they're aware of his flaws. And I think Democrats focus too much on defining him and reminding people of the bad things, and they should have spent more time saying, this is what we're for, this is what we're going to do.
Exactly, guys. And I don't usually get on board what's going on, these ladies on the set of ABC's View, but I've been warning you guys. I had a sneaky suspicion that Alyssa Farah Griffin, post-election, is coming around full circle to Donald Trump once more. She's saying, I feel like we focused way too much on trying to define, tell folks who Donald Trump was or warn them about this guy, when we should have been trying to warn them or, promote what we stand for, who we are, make us seem a little bit better than this guy that is on the other side. But instead, they chose to focus solely on Donald Trump. It was almost like an obsession, and they lost the election in a landslide because of it.
And they should have spent more time saying, this is what we're for, this is what we're going to do. That's what I keep coming back to, rather than Kamala Harris giving the speech on the ellipse to remind people of January 6th. Go to a Michigan Union Hall, talk to people about their future.
Democracy
is
I think, trying to destroy our very republic is pretty important. And I'll say this, you said no one's above the law.
Yeah.
I disagree with this Department of Justice policy, because it is not the law that you cannot indict a sitting president. That is not the law. It is just a long-standing DOJ policy. And I think had the Supreme Court, that has been packed by Donald J. Trump, been a different composed differently.
But it's not composed differently, Sonny. Shoulda, coulda, woulda. If was a fifth, we'd all be drunk. I mean, come on, give it up. Sonny Hostin, you're hearing how desperately she wanted to see this guy, Donald Trump, behind bars with some kind of, disciplinary action for something that he didn't even commit. No, crimes that he didn't commit, she wants him to be held accountable for it. She's saying that there was something else that supposed special counsel Jack Smith could have possibly done in order to get after Donald Trump. We all know Jack Smith did everything he could. He was rushing. He was trying to bully the process, rushing the courts, leapfrogging over courts in order to get decisions quicker. I mean, this guy, Jack Smith, essentially did everything in his power to go after Donald Trump. Sonny Hostin still bent on that point to say that there was more that could have been done there. It shows, though.
Packed by Donald J. Trump, been a different composed differently, I do think that this case would have gone to trial.
But Jack Smith, he did indict Donald Trump when he was a candidate.
Yes, he did.
The reason he folded the investigation is because Donald Trump
of the DOJ policy.
Well, no, it's because he oversees the department.
Oh my goodness, that right there, you hear Sonny Hostin, the blatant disrespect, the negativity, and hatefulness coming from her. I mean, like, everyone else gets to speak, especially that Sonny Hostin and Whoopi get to speak without anyone interrupting them. As soon as Alyssa gets to speaking, she's telling the truth. Sonny Hostin interjects, and she's trying to finish her sentences with baloney that she's not even going to say. Listen to her, y'all.
That this case would have gone to trial.
But Jack Smith, he did indict Donald Trump when he was a candidate.
Yes,
The reason he folded the investigation is because Donald Trump
of the DOJ policy.
Well, no, it's because he oversees the Department of Justice in, 6 days. He knew that the trial would be stopped.
But can we
Jack Smith would be fired. It wasn't that he wasn't willing to move forward.
But that's not what he said. He said that he did. One second, I just want to answer that. What he did say is it is a long-standing DOJ policy, and that is why I have to drop the case. That is what he said.
He had to drop the case simply because Donald Trump beat Kamala Harris. I mean, come on, the fashion that we've seen, that spanking. Of course, Jack Smith was like, I got to run for the hills. He already knew if Kamala Harris lost the election that he had to drop all charges. A lot of these rogue agents, bad actors, already knew what it meant on November 5th when they were watching whatever outlet they were watching. They were seeing the results and it was coming in, and there wasn't many votes coming for Kamala, but Donald Trump just kept going up and up and up. He was like, okay, I think we're doomed. We've got to get rid of it. We got to throw it all away. We've seen that with Jack Smith. We've seen that with Judge Juan Merchan. He was tiptoeing, dancing around the sentencing of Donald Trump because they all knew.
Standing DOJ policy, and that is why I have to drop the case.
But can we now call him a convicted felon? Is that okay? Or am I going to be sued?
You can call him a 35.
Oh my goodness.
You can call him a 34-count convicted felon.
It's very striking that when he talks about immigrants.
I just want to say one thing. Sonny better tiptoe and dance. You better stop it, because what you're wishing on someone else that bad that you keep throwing on Donald Trump, it could come back and slap her quicker than she thinks. I mean, she's got her husband pending a RICO racketeering case. He may have more than 34 counts pending against him. I don't know. And then the implication of her may not be too far off either, because she was definitely benefiting off of his insurance frauding schemes.
34-count convicted felon.
It's very striking that when he talks about immigrants who break the law and he's going to send them back and he's against these people, he broke the law.
Yes,
I mean, the whole thing, it doesn't make any sense anymore. I mean,
Wait. Did she just say... Let me run it back. Maybe I'm tripping.
He talks about immigrants who break the law and he's going to send them back and he's against these people.
Yeah.
He broke the law.
I just have to make sure that I was hearing that correctly. Joy Behar makes my brain hurt, guys. Actually makes my brain hurt sometimes. With the points that she tries to make, we're hearing her compare Donald Trump to these illegal migrants that are crossing the border, breaking the law. It doesn't make sense to me. Donald Trump, born and raised here in the United States. There's nowhere for him to get sent back to, first of all. And second of all, you guys came at this man with these crazy accusations, stretching statutes paper thin in order to get to this guy. It is a big difference between him and those illegal border crossings. I'm so lost on Joy Behar's point.
Who break the law and he's going to send them back and he's against these people. Yeah. He broke the law.
Yes,
I mean, the whole thing, it doesn't make any sense anymore. I mean, I feel like we're in a lot of trouble now.
One thing that I read, and I don't know, you guys can check me in my ear, is that as a convicted felon, he cannot have a weapon, yet he can be the commander-in-chief of our military. I just find the hypocrisy.
Well,
stunning.
And that right there is the sole reason why we've seen, the unconditional discharge on Donald Trump from that Judge Juan Merchan, because this is what he wanted. This is what all those folks that have been those left-wing loonies that have been coming after Donald Trump for so long. Oh, he's a convicted felon. You didn't see his mugshot? This is what they wanted, guys. Let them have it. I'm going to let them have that. They can have that, y'all. They can have that.
It is what it is right now.
They can have that.
They took the time they needed, and they took 3 years to do it to make sure they had what they needed. Mm-hmm. What I don't see is that he cannot be tried again.
Oh my goodness.
Well, there is double jeopardy, and they did dismiss the case, and so I think it would be very unlikely that he would be tried again.
Didn't they?
I doubt you. anyone's going to pick that case back up and try Donald Trump again. And what they're seeing Jack Smith just go through in order, he had to jump through hoops trying to get to Donald Trump. Like I said, stretching those statutes paper thin. After Donald Trump, to go after this guy Donald Trump, it does not make sense to me why they think this case is coming back alive. I can almost guarantee you no one's picking this thing up. Just like over there in Fulton County, Georgia, with Fonnie Willis, who's been, dismissed from her case.
Miss the case, and so I think it would be very unlikely that he would be tried
didn't
again.
they dismiss it
Without prejudice?
Without prejudice?
I'm not sure. Can somebody tell me in my
Somebody
ear?
can check that.
He also will
In
be
any
82 when he leaves office. I think that there is a day in the future where we won't talk about Donald Trump every single day.
Yeah,
and
tomorrow.
He can
Come on now.
into the sunset.
Come on now.
But
I'm sorry, age doesn't protect you from the law.
No, I know, but do you think it'd be good for the country if after he leaves office after 4 years,
You know what?
we're
Yeah,
like, now we do a 4-year trial?
I would like to see
I
it.
think it would not be a bad idea.
And there you go, guys. That's Sonny Host. I'm gonna stop right there. It's just they are so stuck, bent up on the point, bringing Donald Trump up. It's almost like an infatuation, an obsession with this man, bringing him up on their show every single day. You can tell Alyssa Farah Griffin is trying to bring a little bit of reality back onto this show, change the tone, the dynamic there, and say, hey, do you guys think there's a possibility that we could, wake up one day and not bring up Donald Trump on this show? Let's talk about some things that are actually relevant, some things that actually matter. We had a chance to talk about things that matter when we had Kamala Harris running. We may have actually been able to help her campaign, but instead we did the exact opposite. We only talked about Donald Trump. And then when we did bring her onto the show, we literally tore her campaign down. I'm pretty sure Sonny Hostin with her question sent that thing plummeting into the garbage. I mean, come on. It was already in the garbage, I'm not going to lie. But Sonny Hostin didn't help adding to the campaign, guys. Definitely help in the comments section. Let me know your thoughts. Do you guys see these ladies ever getting over Donald Trump here in the future? Let me know what you're thinking. Also, make sure you guys hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you did enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next one.